Meloni may never, ever, ever visit United States, may never set foot on United States. Right now we have some more updates I want to share with you. But before I do that, not subscribe to my channel, consider subscribing, because this is getting very interesting, and we are going to be talking a lot about Trump becoming more and more unhinged. It is not that he intentionally wanted to lie about Meloni begging him for a picture. It could also be because of those dementia, cognitive decline is contributing to it. Because when he met Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's wife, French first lady, he acted so strange. He would pull her in for a kiss. He would grab her. He would ask her to hold his hand because he cannot step down from a stair. He is just all over the place. And then all of a sudden, when he saw all of these G7 leaders, he walked into this room after 45 minutes late, and then he said, "I'm the boss." Like, this guy has some serious problem, and that's what we will be talking more in this video, how Meloni Trump, or Giorgia Meloni, not Trump, Meloni is now freaking out. So if you do not know, this is what happened, okay? Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has accused Donald Trump of making up a claim that she begged him to have a picture taken together. The two were at the G7 summit meeting in France and had been filmed speaking at several points. At no point in time Meloni was asked or she begged Donald Trump for a picture. Take a listen at this one.
Però una cosa se la deve ricordare, io e l'Italia non imploriamo mai.
She is like freaking out at the moment, and we know that a top diplomat from United States, he canceled his trip to US because he thinks Trump is so lunatic, is so moronic. Who knows what he will get when he's in the States? Maybe they'll harass him. Who knows? Maybe they'll stop him at the immigration. Like, crazy things can happen. So nobody trusts Donald Trump at all, especially after saying things like this, that she begged him. Absolutely 100% BS. I think everybody is just worried about being around Donald Trump. Take a listen.
President Trump has stirred up a diplomatic spat today after testing the patience of a key U.S. ally, not Israel. In this case, it's Italy's top diplomat there abruptly canceling a planned trip to the U.S. set for this weekend after a back and forth between Mr. Trump and the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. Now, the two were together at the G7 summit in France this week, where the president claimed in an interview with Italian TV that Meloni, quote, begged him for a photo and that he felt sorry for her. Meloni responded in a video on X, calling his account totally fabricated and saying Italy and I never beg. She goes on to say, "I don't know why the president of the United States behaves this way with his own allies. It's not, after all, the first time this has happened. And I can only say it's a shame he doesn't show the same determination with the enemies of the West, with the enemies of the United States." Well, she's right. It's hardly the first time the president has belittled, dismissed, or targeted America's closest friends. Also at the G7, he called Mexico's president a sacred woman, make that a scared woman. He said the French president's wife treats him badly earlier this year. He said that Germany's chancellor was doing a terrible job. He mocked the Canadian prime minister as the future governor of Canada. And, of course, he threatened Denmark by suggesting he would take Greenland one way or the other. Greenland, of course, is Danish territory. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House. Gabe,
so when he's mocking these leaders, left and right, what is happening? Are they really perturbed by all of this unhinged behavior of Donald Trump? Or are they like, okay, this is a man-child, he will do whatever he has to do, he takes things very seriously, he's very picky. Like, can you imagine him talking about Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's wife, in that fashion? What he said about her, oh, she was not nice to me. Like, what are you talking about? He actually mocked he made fun of Emmanuel Macron's accent. Hey Macron, remember that? On camera, he mocked his accent. He's not an American guy, he's a French guy. But nevertheless, he found a way of mocking him. Do you think after seeing that, hearing that, Brigitte Macron will be like, yeah, I will treat Trump like my hero? No, everybody thinks he's a villain. He's a psychopath and a lunatic and very, very disrespectful to others.
Italian foreign minister who canceled his visit over Trump's comments called them, quote, serious and offensive toward Meloni and all of Italy. How dangerous is this? How serious is the damage with the Italian government? And I got to ask you this as the guy who stands there every day. Why does the president regularly target America's allies and treat them like this?
Well, Tom, this is, as you know, nothing new.
At the same time, if you take a notice, just want to make this point. At the same time, when he talks about North Korea's leader, right? When he talks about Kim Jong-un, and when he talks about Vladimir Putin, when he talks about even Iranian leaders these days, he's full of praise about them. When he talks about Xi Jinping of China, does he talk like this? No, he respects them. Oh my gosh, Xi Jinping, he's such a great guy. We have such a good relationship with him. I have such a good relationship with Vladimir Putin. But when it comes to his own allies, he trashed them. So making friendship with Donald Trump is a weakness, according to Donald Trump. You should not be my friend, because if you are, that means you are desperate, you are begging, you are needy, you want something from me. But when you are my enemy, talking against me, and you're showing it tough, then he starts praising those leaders. This guy is just crazy.
From President Trump, he has been escalating his rhetoric against European allies really throughout his second term, especially, to say nothing of his first term. But really, he has felt emboldened during this term to really go after European allies for what he sees as not doing enough. Especially recently, he has been frustrated with multiple European allies for, in his view, not doing enough to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, for not trying to help the United States in a variety of ways. And you just laid out some of the snubs against allies, not just in Europe, but also in Canada. And he's, talked about making...
No, none of these world leaders are bound by his demand to be followed. No, none of them. He wanted all of these people to come and rescue him to open the Strait of Hormuz. They said, no, thanks, but no thanks. He did not even consult with the Arab leaders before attacking Iran. And then in the middle of all of this, he's like, you have to normalize ties with Israel. I will make a deal with Iran, but in return, you normalize ties with Israel. What? Like, you didn't even tell us that you're going to war with Iran. So, again, this guy is somebody said, I believe in all BS. Really? Prove one BS that I believe in. This guy, he again doesn't know what he's talking about. He's definitely losing friends, and his number of enemies just increasing every day. Now even the GOP, MAGA base, they hate him because of the Iran deal. The neo-Nazi, the neocons are obviously there after him, but this guy is just making more enemy and less friends.
The 51st state. And he's also railed against the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. Even though during this G7 summit there hadn't been any huge explosion, except perhaps that joke that he says is a joke when he walked into that room an hour late. He kept those world leaders waiting. He walked in and he joked, "I'm the boss," as he was walking in. Still, though, he did earn some praise from those G7 leaders for this memorandum of understanding in Iran. They praised it, but then came overnight this escalating feud with Italy. And I spoke with the president earlier today, Tom. I asked him, Meloni was a former ally of his. What did he think? What did he make of this? He doubled down. He said that she was a fan, but he didn't want her as a fan because, quote, she wasn't there for us, referring to Italy not being there when it came to the conflict in Iran, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, all of this nonsense, stupid war that you started, nobody wants to be part of it. I mean, why would they do that? What is in it for them? Zero. Inflation is going through the roof all over the world. They are paying a price for your moroncy. Can I say that word? moronic decisions. Okay, so this is coming from MS Now. Take a look.
I want to ask you about another big Trump story, which is an international incident he's created with Italy, with Giorgia Meloni. This is really fascinating. So I think the context of this, and maybe you can fill us in here, which is that at a certain point when his war that he did not inform allies was going to start or try to bring in started going very sideways because Iran controlled the Strait, he got very angry at the Europeans for not coming to rescue his hide, and that included the Italians. Is that basically the context here?
Yes. No, I mean, he and, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense/War, has been running point on this, that the NATO allies yet again have not held up their end of the bargain by coming to, save our butts. Despite the fact that this war had obviously nothing to do with Europe, they were all very surprised. It was a huge disaster. They're bearing the costs as well. So yeah, clearly this is yet another point on the list of complaints about.
So he has animus. He was just in Europe for the G7, and he basically was talking to a Italian reporter. And appears to have fabricated. I'm going to trust Meloni's. Not that I trust Meloni in anything, but he appears to have fabricated that she begged him for a photo. She tells an Italian journalist, she begged me to take a picture with her. She wanted a picture of me so badly, I wouldn't have taken it, but I felt sorry for her. And then this is an enormous deal. The foreign minister has canceled a trip, and Meloni put out this statement basically saying, like, he made this up, and neither I nor Italians ever beg. What do you make of this?
Right, no, she recorded a video of her talking to camera to say some of these things. I mean, this is a big deal.
This was supposed to be an ally. She's like a hard right sort of.
She really is.
Populist nationalist.
It's not just, European leaders, as people have noticed, have been very hesitant to get in Donald Trump's face. And for this to be the one to do that, I think is quite notable.
It also is.
What people also do not understand is this. What I said in my previous videos is that he is doing it on purpose. Donald Trump is creating all of this theatrics nonsense on purpose. What is the reason? Well, it is because of his total humiliation with the Iran MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. He got exposed in front of the entire world how failure he is. What an absolute disaster he is. Remember, this is the same guy who had several of his business went bankrupt. This guy has a rap sheet of crime. He has a lot of ventures that are absolutely doing horrible. And this time with Iran, this was such a disastrous war. And when he went to France, what I understand, from day one, he was planning for it. That I will go there, do something absolutely stupid, horrendous, disgusting, which he did, that people will talk about my behavior. People will talk about Meloni and what I said to her. People will think about Brigitte Macron, what I did to her with all of those photo sessions. And they will not talk about my failure in this Iran war. I think this was a distraction by Donald Trump. This was all planned.
This sort of sledgehammer approach to the whole thing, like at whatever tactical deafness that he can sometimes display in American politics. He really does seem to be on his own. I want to ask also about one of the other revelations from this new book, the Haberman and Swan book by your New York Times colleagues. April, this one really jumped out at me. This is him in the book talking about Pete Hegseth, when he was possibly going to be voted down over the sexual assault allegations that he denied, though he did settle, we should note, the woman that said that he raped her at a conference while she was there with her husband and children. He denies that, but settled with her. That Trump briefly considered replacing him with Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, and this is the phrase that haunted me as someone who's been covering him for 11 years. We need plot twists, Trump told a startled ally before dropping the thought. That seems as revelatory of his MO as any bit of reporting I've read about Donald Trump in the last decade.
It is. You're absolutely right. But we have to go back to the definition of plot twist. A radical shift, a radical change. Donald Trump thinks this is The Apprentice. He thinks this is his movie. I mean, just like with Meloni, the conversation that you just had, everyone has to love him, and it's got to be fawning over him, or there's got to be something. It's very Machiavellian that he's going to come in and save the day. This is quintessential Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, who do we have? Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, who was once the Secretary of Defense, but now the Secretary of War.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, he wants to keep people enthralled in this. He believes that he has to be a president who entertains, not necessarily leads, but he wants to entertain. That's not what the American people want, particularly when you've got, again, foreign leaders
Well,
upset.
it's not about just the foreign leaders that he makes fun of, but also he's now throwing his own administration under the bus. We have seen how he called out J.D. Vance when he was mentioning about J.D. Vance doing the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding with Iran. He was asked this question, so if it works out, you'll take all the credit, and if it doesn't, you throw J.D. Vance under the bus. He said, this is a good idea. He said it on camera, man. So he's going after not just the world leaders, but also his own people. And he's also going after this moron, Pete Hegseth. There are reports that he's going to be firing him over this Iran deal that he did not agree, Pete Hegseth, with Donald Trump. Guys, this guy is theatrics. He's doing it all on purpose to distract us from his absolute catastrophic decision to go to Iran war. I'll give you more updates, guys. Thank you so much for your comments. If you can leave it in the comment section, I'll really appreciate that, and I will respond to you. I know you said something about me. I don't mind. Just criticize me, blame me, point me out, call me out. I don't mind. I'm here for you to hear what I think and what I believe is happening, especially this time with Donald Trump. Subscribe for more videos, guys.